wings that covered the sky, a promise remembered by God. Moses and his brother Aaron stepped forward once again, following the call of God. Their destination was the magnificent palace where the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, resided. Though the palace walls were high and intimidating, their hearts were filled with a courage that could only come from heaven. "Let the people of Israel go. If you do not, tomorrow a swarm of locusts will cover the land," Moses warned. Pharaoh's officials turned pale with fear. One advisor named Peser leaned toward Pharaoh, pleading with him to give up his stubbornness and let the people depart before the land was completely destroyed. Swayed by his advisor's fear, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron back. "You may go and worship your God," he said, though his eyes remained narrow and suspicious. "But tell me, who exactly will be going with you?" He leaned forward, watching Moses closely for the answer. "We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, and with our flocks and our herds," Moses replied firmly. Beside him, Aaron nodded in agreement. They knew that every member of their family and every animal belonged in the worship of God. Pharaoh's face turned red with rage. "No, only the men may go," he shouted, before ordering Moses and Aaron to be driven out of the palace. Once outside, Moses obeyed God's command and stretched his staff out over the vast land of Egypt. A scorching, heavy east wind began to howl across the land. It blew all that day and all that night without a single moment of rest. By the next morning, the wind had brought an army of locusts so massive they looked like a thick, black cloud swallowing the horizon. The locusts descended, devouring every green thing in sight. They ate the plants and the fruit of the trees that had survived the previous storms. Soon, there was not a single green leaf or blade of grass left in all the land of Egypt. Everything had turned into a barren wasteland. Terrified by the devastation, Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron in great haste. "I have sinned against your God and against you," he confessed. "Please, forgive my sin just this once, and pray to God to take this deadly plague away from me." Moses went out from the city and prayed earnestly to God. In response, God shifted the wind into a very strong west wind. The gale picked up the millions of locusts and swept every single one of them into the Red Sea until not one remained in Egypt. Although the plague was gone and the land was quiet, Pharaoh's heart became as hard as a cold stone once again. He broke his word and refused to let the people go. However, God was already preparing the next part of his great plan to set his people free.